Alright, there's a technique that I want to show you that I use quite often within my projects when animating something in After Effects, and it's called parallaxing. And it's basically taking two images to create the illusion of depth or 3D without really doing any major distortion to the image at all. And I'm just going to walk you through that demonstration. So first thing I need to do is create a composition. So go to Composition, New Composition. Give the composition a name. I'm going to keep the aspect ratio at 1920 by 1080. I'm also going to keep the frame rate at 29.97. Now, you can do 24 frames. 24 frames is more for YouTube, TV, and Vimeo. You can also use 12 frames per second, which is more for Adobe Animate, doing flash animation. But I'm going to keep it at this default at 29.97, which is more our speed. And then the duration will be 30 seconds. Let me keep it 30 seconds there. Alright. So once I have my composition, the next thing I need to do is import my files. And what I'm doing, I'm just simply right clicking directly within our project workspace. You can even go into File, Import, File. My preference is just by right clicking within my project workspace. Locating the file that I want to bring into After Effects. I created this character head a few days ago, so I'm going to use this. Anytime you create a file in Photoshop and you have multiple layers, After Effects is going to give you the option of choosing the layers that you want to import in. Because I only have one layer, which is layer 2 copy. That's the only options that I really have. So it doesn't matter if I choose to merge it or choose the layer itself. Either one will be fine. Next thing I'm going to do is import another file, which will be my background. And import this thing in. Once I have these two files, I now need to click and drag it directly into my composition. Once I have these two files in my composition, I need to rearrange it. I need to make sure that the background, which is the wood wall, is in the back and then my character head is in the front. I want to make sure that this wooden background is all of my comp. So I need to increase the size of this wooden background. So this one is going to be scale. So once I have it scaled, I also want to make sure that I'm scaling the head as well. So once I have that, the next thing I'm going to do now, I need to add a light. And the way you can add a light within your composition is by right clicking, going into New, and then go down into Light. And then the light settings is going to be pulled up, and it's going to give you the option to choosing which type of light settings that you want. Now we have a few types. We have parallel, we have spot, we have point, and we have ambient. Within your projects, you might want to experiment and see which one might be best for you. But for me, in my demonstration, I'm going to use the spotlight. It also gives you the option of changing the cone angle, also feathering the edges and intensity. I'm going to keep all this at this default setting. But one thing I am going to do, I'm going to make sure that I choose cast shadows. You want to make sure you have the cast shadows on, so I can cast a shadow on my wooden wall. So this is the thing I need to click, cast shadow, and click OK. Alright, so now you notice that I have a light, I have my layer for my character head as well as a background. But I don't really see much. The only thing I really see is the light itself. And right now it gives me a manipulator, which is up, down, right, and left. So we have this green arrow, which is your Y, and translate Y is up and down. We have the red arrow, which is X, which is left and right, and then blue is front to back. The problem is that we don't see the front to back. We don't see the blue, just because of the camera angle that we are in. I can change that by changing my active camera to a custom view, and you can see that my composition has changed. Now the reason why we don't see anything within my comp is because I did not activate these layers to be 3D. And the way you do that is by making sure that you're toggling on and off your toggle switch to go back and forth between your blend modes as well as accessing your 3D. So You want to make sure that you have this set up within your comp. Once you have this, you want to click this box, which now will activate your 3D. Now we can see that I have my light, we have my character head, as well as my background. And make sure that I can create a little bit of depth between my wooden wall as well as my character. I'm going to select my character and move this character forward. All right. I'm also going to adjust the location or make a change to the location of my light and pull this back a bit. So you can see the further that we move the light away, the more spread that the light has. But the problem is that we don't have a cast shadow onto my wall. We did activate the cast within the light, but we did not activate the cast within this layer 2. So what I need to do is I need to open up the attributes for layer 2 to gain access to that cast. And what I need will be the material options. And for material options, I want to make sure that I have my cast shadow. Right now it's on off. I need to turn it on. And once I click this, you can see now I have my cast shadow. If I were to go back into my active camera for changing my custom view 1 to active camera, we can see I have a slight cast here. Nice thing about this is that I can also animate the rotation or the positioning of my character head, and I'll be able to get a nice cast within my background. So I'm going to do that so we can all see it. So I'm going to key my rotation X. Alright, type in 350. Go back into my active camera and let's see what we have. So you can see that the light is interacting with my character head and casting a shadow on my wooden wall. So that's how you use layers, 3D layers, to create this parallaxing effect.